I just wanted to show real quick, I decided to go ahead and expose the truss rod because I want to lay my resistor chain down in there. And what there was underneath the truss rod, or over it, is this small piece of wood. And I thought I was being careful, but I went ahead and broke it, which is probably going to be okay because that can be glued fairly easily. And this is the little piece of metal, the bump, that the truss rod pushes against, which pulls the neck back and forth into place, bending it or unbending it, however it should go. So now I just have to figure out how I am going to run the resistors in there and get them back up underneath here. And I thought about kind of making a bigger groove under here, but you know, the fretboard is already kind of flimsy and I'm going to be drilling holes in it, so and, you know, I want to be real careful about that. And maybe I should have just gone ahead and pulled the frets, but I didn't, so we'll see how that works from here. Alright, I discovered something, mostly by reading an online forum about fretting a guitar. I've got the, whatever you call these, cold heat guns, and this is probably about the only useful thing I've ever found to use this on, because it's certainly no good for actual electronics. And what you do, if you can see there, is just holding it on there so it heats up the fret. And you know, yeah, that's just about right as far as the thing. Now I can see a little wisp of smoke coming off of there, and what I hope that is the glue kind of separating. And yeah, let's see, if I already did it on one and it worked. Now I get my razor blade and kind of work it underneath there, trying not to carve up the wood. And probably be a little easier if I actually had a handle on this razor blade. I'll try heating it up a little more. You can tell that I got that one out fairly easily. I should probably do this way so you can see the little light that comes on that shows you that it's actually on and heating. This thing basically works as an arc. Says it's cold heat, but you know, whatever. So I'm just heating. You can see that spark there, and little wisps of smoke. Now, some people said to use a regular soldering iron for this, and I suppose I could have used my regular iron, but this I'm not going to. Just try and work that under there. Being as careful as possible. Well, that's always the case. The first one comes out really easily, and then the other ones don't. There we go. And they do make a special tool for this. It's like a pair of end snippers, but and they're ground off more flat, so you can actually get them under there. But I don't have any of those. And what little tools I do have, So I want to get that out of there without really bending it up too much. There it goes. Alright. So there, I got that out without totally bending it up. And I'm going to try and keep these in the order that they came out. And so you don't want to watch a video of me doing this whole procedure to every single one of them. That's the basic gist of how I'm doing this. Okay, updating a little bit. Things seem to be going pretty well. I've got several of the frets pulled out. This thing seems to be working actually really pretty good. I haven't really tried a whole lot of other methods, but you know, as far as contained heat and not burning holes in the neck and things like that, this actually seems pretty good. I've only bent one fret up, but I don't think it's too badly bent. And so yeah, this is just one of these soldering guns that cools instantly to the touch, and or so they say. But it's, I don't know if you can see this, but it's basically got two electrodes and passes electricity through those when they're jumped, connected to a piece of metal. And this is really about the only valid use I've ever found for this thing, because it's certainly no good for doing electronic work. And so I just kind of heat this up. You know, it takes a minute or two to heat the whole thing up, and I kind of move it back and forth to try and heat it somewhat evenly. And when the little red LED is on, that means it's heating, that the connection's being made. And I try and kind of concentrate the heating on the side that I'm going to start prying it up. So let's see if that's heated up enough. Then I take the razor blade and carefully slide it under there, and just ever so gently kind of work it along, pulling up the fret. And there I have the fret, there I have an empty fret slot. And I'm keeping the frets in the order that I pulled them out. That'll make it easier to put them back in the order they're supposed to come into. Anyway, so I just wanted to add that little bit to the film. Alright, this is what I ended up with. Got all the frets out, and I got all the frets lined up here in the order that they go, and I'm going to try and keep them that way so it'll be a little less confusing when I go to put them back in. And I suggest you do the same thing if you're stupid enough to try this. And so the next step will be to drill through here where the frets were, so I have a place for the resistors to come up through and connect with the frets. And that'll probably be another video on its own.